Hold it. Get his hands. I got one cup here. It's over. Quit trying to pull your hands back. Ronnie, get up. Do not move. Do not move. Stop. No. Hey, start 43.
Oh, my leg.
Quit moving. Quit moving. Quit moving.
Hey,
let 20 do it. Let 20 deal with it. 20's got it.
Please, sir. I can't breathe, please, sir. Sir, I can't breathe, please. Sir, please, sir, can I stand up?
No.
I can't breathe up.
Stay away, sir.
Okay.
Please, sir.
Stay away. Thank you.
Please stay away. Can you go on the other side of that sign?
Please, hey, let me get up. I can't breathe, sir.
Hey, you can
You're
talk.
fine.
Hey, you can talk. You can
I
breathe.
can't breathe.
Hey,
Sir,
right.
please.
Hey.
Please, hey. I can't breathe.
You can breathe. You're fine. You're fine.
Please.
You're fine. You're fine.
I
Calm
can't
down.
breathe, bro.
Hey, calm down.
Please, stand up, please, hey.
No, you can't stand up.
He's on the center.
Please, let me stand up, please. Please, sir. Go on my side, please. I can't breathe like that. You push it down my lungs.
We're not touching your lungs. Okay? Calm down. You just need to relax.
What's this all about, eh? What's going on? Oh, please, sir. Get me to my side, please. I can't breathe.
You're okay.
Please, sir.
You're okay. You're on your side. Hey, we're on your side. You can't get up. We're not going to let you run again.
I'm not, I promise.
Okay.
I promise.
Hey, calm down. Calm down. Everything. We got rescue on the way. We'll check you out. You're fine.
Sir, please, eh? I can't breathe, sir. Please. Please, sir, can I turn to the side, please, a little more?
Yeah, turn over. Now calm down. Don't. No, hey, your feet stay still.
I'm not going to go nowhere.
You're trying to get your feet. Leave your feet alone.
And I'll get off front here to get you coming from the team. Hey, 20 for drink me off MR2. Fuck. 10-4.
I didn't even know you guys were cops. I thought you
I
guys
think
were
it's
getting me.
stop, just south of the church.
You guys are trying to rob
And
me or
block all
something.
traffic there.
Beat me up.
More than after that 20, she's just starting from ways off.
Hey, we're already past that, okay? You
Yeah,
know
we're
where the
thinking
cops
we're doing
now.
4655
We're
and
here
up.
to help you. Okay? We're going to need you to make sure you're okay. We're going to go from there, alright? Okay.
The 27-8, so yeah, somebody on the line.
Get some gloves.
Were you promised? 39 at 350 Dolores.
We're moving. We're moving.
Is very angry. Car 34 by 6 and disconnected. Not getting an answer on the call back.
711, please send me the phone.
Any MC82.
What do you keep reaching for?
Just a chance, yeah, I'll stay around.
Adam 126, so you won't clear me, I'll drop. 434, 10 that should be around as well.
Yes, yes, everybody's like.
Adam 114, clear me in.
Metro 1, we got the subject in
I thought
custody.
you guys were somebody else. I didn't know you guys were the cops.
711, you to go to Dolores, this 34th corner of Dolores in that walk.
You know where the police look right at.
Negative, we're getting them just a 21 point of voicemail. Already tried 5 times.
We're going, hey, stop, stop. No, stop. We're going to need a.
It does look like Metro was sitting here. Did you see them anywhere or disregard?
We need to put up just the one cup on here because we got too much room. Negative, PD.
Oh, going over, sir. What's that all for, huh? What's that all for? Oh, God.
Police Oversight Board recommends lengthy suspension after officers use excessive force on unarmed man. The city's Police Oversight Board recommended that 2 officers receive lengthy suspensions after reviewing an internal affairs investigation into an officer-involved shooting that took place in June 2015. The Albuquerque Police Department's Internal Affairs Unit last month had exonerated the officers involved. But the board Thursday night found that the officers violated numerous policies and used questionable tactics during the arrest of Danan Gabaldon. One detective drove a truck into the suspect as he fled on foot. The key ingredient here is that once he got out of his car he was weaponless and deadly force was used against him, said Joanne Fine, the chairwoman of the POB. Referring to the Internal Affairs conclusion, Ed Harness, the executive director of the Civilian Police Oversight Agency, said at the POG meeting that the case was another example of the police not holding themselves accountable. Board members voted unanimously, recommending 512 hours of suspension for one detective and 240 hours of suspension for another detective. The officers were not identified by name. The day of his arrest, Gabaldon was wanted on aggravated assault on a police officer and other charges. He was suspected of driving a car at a police officer days earlier. Gabaldon has since pleaded guilty to that and several other charges against him and is serving time in prison. Undercover officers tried to stop Gabaldon when he was driving near the 8400 block of Camino San Martin SW. Harness said one detective accidentally backed into a fellow officer's vehicle, setting off the airbag. The detective then got out of his vehicle, placing himself directly in Gabaldon's path, and fired 2 shots at him. Other officers shot at Gabaldon with beanbag shotguns and electronic control weapons, Harness said. Gabaldon was able to exit his vehicle and run from officers. A detective then got in a truck and drove onto the sidewalk and into Gabaldon, who smacked into the hood of the truck. Gabaldon then fell to the ground and officers pounced on him and used a taser on him multiple times as he was taken into custody, according to video of the incident, which police released in October 2015. Accountability has been an ongoing concern cited by the independent monitor overseeing a years-long U.S. Department of Justice reform effort that aims to improve the police department. The exonerations of these officers in this case further illustrates the monitor's opinion that the department lacks the ability to hold its officers accountable, Harness said. Harness said the department should do a more thorough administrative investigation into the officers, including the supervisor. The CPOA's findings will be sent in a letter to Chief Gordon Eaton, who is to respond in writing if he is in disagreement, according to city policy. Albuquerque police officer Tanner Tixier, an APD spokesman, said Friday that the chief hadn't received Harness's letter. As such, it would not be appropriate to comment at this time, he said. Gabaldon has sued the city in federal court, seeking damages for alleged excessive force and civil rights violations. The district attorney's office hasn't announced whether it will bring charges against the officers involved in the incident. Harness was critical of several tactics police used in making the arrest, including using unmarked police vehicles instead of marked patrol units to stop him. He said striking Gabaldon with a vehicle violated several policies, and was unjustified because Gabaldon wasn't an immediate threat to police or the public at the time. The detective who shot at him also violated policies, Harness said. The oversight agency is recommending that the officer who shot at Gabaldon be suspended for 512 hours and the officer who struck him with a vehicle get a 240-hour suspension. The chief has the final say over what discipline to hand down.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I'd like to thank you for all your years of support through the years. As a result, this channel has grown and allowed me an equity partnership in carmarshal.com. Please take the time to check them out. They help you buy and sell your next car, even have a negotiating tool to save you from the hassle of haggling with multiple dealers. The link is in the description below. Please click and help support and give if you can too through PayPal or Patreon. Thanks again.